My name is Daniel, and I'll be presenting Steven Just Let It Be. It's a bit of a clickbait, but we're going to just be chatting about how to get a better performance out of your RSPEC tests. So before we actually begin, I'll present myself. So I'm Daniel. I'm 27 years old from Uruguay, a small country in South America. I'm the full stack tech lead at Aptwick, and I'm a big fan of Formula One. I saw somebody was watching the free practice as well, so yeah, there's more of us around it. And yeah, so I work at Aptwick. Aptwick is a app store acquisition platform that is driven by data science. Essentially, what it means is that we help clients increase their app visibility to get more downloads, and we also help them optimize their ad campaigns. And about the talk of today, we're going to be chatting about increasing the RSPEC performance. And you know, Euruko this year has been like very RSPEC-y. So yeah, why not keep on the theme? So why is fast testing important? So this is kind of like a very easy question to answer, but actually it has a lot of reasons why it's very important to get it like fast testing. Testing is like part of our feedback loop as developers. So whenever we're actually working on new features, we're running our tests. We also run our tests, or hopefully we run our tests each time we make a deployment. And to top things off, those things that we run on deployments, they run on GitHub Actions or some other services that you may choose for. And those are oftentimes paid by the minute. So having fast testing can make a difference money-wise. So I would like to ask you all, how many of you guys actually have your test suite run in under 5 minutes from all of you? All right. Between 5 and 10 minutes? All right. And, you know, higher than that is probably the majority, I guess. Yeah, so yeah, this is a very important matter. But overall, like people still have like slow tests. So yeah, we're going to go a bit into it. Also, there's a relevant XKDC. This is like a chart that shows how much time would win if a task takes only 1 second. So as you can see, actually, if your test takes more than 10 minutes and you're running it multiple times a day, you're actually losing way more time in the span of 5 years than what this chart gives. But I think it's pretty eye-opening. So yeah. So let's see a practical example, a very dumb example, so to speak, that was totally rushed for this presentation, about a simple use case where we do have like, I don't know, some models, and we're trying to test like a support class that is doing something with these models. So here I'll have like 2 very simple active record models. So I have a user that has many payments, and then I have a payment that belongs to a user. It's very straightforward. The payment has like an attribute that is amount that is going to be relevant for this. And then I could have like a purchase validator class that essentially just like validates the purchase of a client. And we will say that this is good if pretty much there's no negative amount. I told you this is going to be a dumb example, so yeah. So, but let's just keep this in mind. So if we have like a negative payment, we're going to say that this is not valid. And this is the method that we're going to be trying to test. So there's multiple ways to write tests for this with RSPEC. There's like, we can use something like this, for instance. We can do a before do hook. And we can have the creation of the user with some factories in it. We can create an invalid and a valid payment just to have like some edge cases there. And then we can have like a simple context for the presentation. I'm just going to test that the thing is invalid. So in this case, I'm just trying to check that the class that I'm testing, you know, gives me a false because we do have like a payment that is invalid associated with this user, as you can see in the before hook. And we could do this way, right? And actually, this is not the best way to do this because it uses instance variables. And instance variables in RSPEC are kind of discouraged, but not really. But I mean, it has like a lot of things in it. And the main problem that I have with them is that if you have a typo inside your test, you may have like actually like tests that are not really doing what you think they're doing. So for instance, let's see this example. It's a very mock example. You can see that I created one user, I have an invalid payment, but in the moment that I'm making the association to the user, I made a typo, and you can see that the instance variable I'm referencing is @user without a e. And that will make it so that the expectation that I'm doing later is going to fail, because actually all the payments that are associated with this user are actually like valid. So yeah, this is kind of the things that can happen if we use like @variables. This will not give you an error. This will just say like, oh, your test failed, but it will not blow up, so to speak, which could lead to problems if, for instance, my assertion was wrong and I was doing like to be truthy, for instance. Then my test would pass, actually, but it would pass for the wrong reasons. So yeah, in order to avoid having this situation going, the very smart people at RSPEC, and there's probably more reasons as well, invented the let, that is the thing that we were just looking at with the meta programming chat. And with the let, actually, you have like this memoized instance variables that actually get checked. And with this, if we make a typo, then the test will blow up regardless of what happened in it. So we can actually write the test this way, the before all, and sure, we get like a better test. And now if we make a typo, we're gonna get a warning, and it will blow up as it should. However, this is not perfect, and there are some performance problems with let. So around each context that we have, the database gets restored, or it really depends on your how you reset your thing. You can do a truncate or run everything as a transaction, but truth is that after each context or each example, actually, the database is being reset to that of the declared lets that you're doing. So actually, if you have like some tests that are not actually like mutating your data and you don't want them to be recreated, you can actually like avoid this kind of stuff. And this is kind of one of the problems that you have with lets. Also, yeah, we can circumvent this problem going back to instance variables. So I could do a before all, create everything in a before all, but the problem is that then I have to not to forget to do like an after all to remove everyone. If I don't do this, then I can leak data from files to files, and that can even be even worse. So yeah, this is kind of like okay, but it's not really the best. And also, like, we still have the same problem that I was chatting about with the instance variables, right? If I make a typo with this, then we're kind of screwed. So yeah. Okay, this is like so. All right, so we're talking about like slow tests, and because of the performance reasons that I was just chatting of let, and actually this is not the only reason why you have slow tests, but it's the one that we'll be focusing on this chat. And we can use RSPEC -- profile, right? I had like a slow test suite at our company, and I was trying to diagnose why this was the case. So I did what everyone would do, just Google what we have at hand. And I found this, RSPEC / profile. This guy will give you the top 10 slowest examples and the example groups. It's good to find and tackle what's going slowly, but actually it's not really that deep, right? So I stumbled upon a very useful gem that is called testprof. And testprof actually like offers a lot of things, and it not only profiles your tests, but it also like gives you a lot of functions to like deal with these edge cases that I was just describing. You can see the immensity of this gem over here. So we do have like before all, for instance. So the thing that I was just showing, the before and after, you can also do something with before all. You do have like a factory default. So that is to avoid like having multiple cascades into different like objects. You can just like set a default and use that. There's a lot of things going on here. There's fprof = 1, which we'll be seeing in this chat. But the one that I'm focusing on, and sorry about the thing going, but the one that I'll be focusing on is the let it be. So let it be is the one that I'm interested in for this chat. And yeah, so I was chatting out the fprof. So running fprof = 1, it will tell you all of your factory usages inside your tests. And with this, you can tell that actually this problem that I was just describing of the database resetting itself, you can actually see it with it. And after seeing that this is actually a problem, maybe it's not, you can actually fix it later on with the let it be helper. So let's actually, that's the let it be helper that I was just talking about. And let's do a very dumb, quote unquote dumb benchmark. It's a very simple scenario that I will be presenting. We'll still be using the payments and user thing. But for instance, suppose that I have this. Of course, I said it's dumb, but we had like 100 assertions here, right? It's always the same assertion, but it's for the sake of the argument. And in here, if you run it like this with lets, you will see that actually the test profiler will actually tell you something like this. You're using 200 times your factories, right? Because you're building things every single time that you iterate. And you can see that the execution time is like 0.3 seconds, right? And actually, the whole thing actually took like 0.9 or something like that if you add the time that it takes to load the files. Whereas if you were to use let it be, right? So if you do let it be user, let it be invalid payment and valid payment and everything else, and you run kind of the same test like 100 times, you will actually see this result. So you'll see that actually we're just using factories twice, and that we're just running in less than 1 millisecond, which 0.011 milliseconds. So that's a huge performance increase from this. So, and also like you'll start seeing more gains the more factories you have and the more you start using this. So actually, yeah, we were able to cut down quite a lot of the performance of our the time that it took to execute some of the tests that we had. And I was quite satisfied with this gem, so I thought, why not present it to all of you guys? So thank you so much.